Hello everyone, my name is Nika Shazadagan and this is my presentation on the female director Mati Diop. So a little bit to introduce Mati Diop. Mati Diop is a filmmaker and actress. She is a French and Senegalese filmmaker and actress, just like I mentioned. She grew up in a creative family, a creative environment. Her family, basically every one of her family members is an artist, some type of artist. There's a famous musician and director in her family, and I guess you could say that she inherited an artistic path from her family. She got a cinematic inheritance from her family. With so many arts being offered to her, she didn't know exactly what sparked her interest. But she tried out, these different arts, music, art, dance, cinematography, and the one that was most attractive to her was filmmaking. And Mati Diop, we'll see in her films that she does aim towards showing the tension between the Western and African world. We see that through a couple of her films. She really brings her own perspective, her own upbringing in her films. We see that, a lot of her main characters in her films are female. There's a lot of African American characters in her films too. And we see that, yes, she does bring her own perspective, her own complexity to her films. Mati Diop, she's a very unique female. She's a very unique person. She is really abstract and complex, and she reflects this throughout her films. We see that her films are not the average, are probably not the average film that you would see, and that's because it reflects her own complexity, her own uniqueness. So the first the first film that I viewed by Mati Diop is Snow Cannon. This was filmed in 2011, and it's about a teenage girl named Vanina who stays home with her parent while her parents are away on a vacation. So her parents, they hired a woman named Mary Jane to look after Vanina, and Mary Jane, yes, is Vanina's babysitter during this time. And we see that in this time throughout the film, they develop an intimate relationship. They specifically like a sexual, intimate relationship. They share a connection, and Vanina, she experiences sexual urges and she experiments with Mary Jane. There's a quote by Sisiniski, an article by Sisiniski, and it quotes, "Snow Cannon is a tender, humorous portrait of queer flirtation." The atmosphere, lighting, and the mood of the film signals that these two characters, these two girls, they feel that they're temporarily in their own shelter, their own world, their own space together. So that's how Mati uses the mood and the lighting and the atmosphere of the film to translate the idea of the main story of this film. And one thing that I want to point out to go in deeper of this film is how it leans towards portraying a mood rather than a narrative film. This is significant because most of the time we just see like a narrative throughout the film, but this is more of a mood that's being translated to the audience. And this is what sets Mati Diop apart from the other directors in the industry, specifically the way that she approached this film. Another thing I wanted to add is this film, another thing, it's like not the average film you would see, and that's specifically because it is a what a person would call, they could call weird. It is it is unique, um, because we see a relationship between an adult and a child, and that is not normally approved by society. I mean, it is not approved because it's illegal. But I really honor the fact that Matty Diop made a film on this, because it's it's bold, and it's interesting. It's an interesting concept that she explored, which I I respect and I honor that. So the next film is A Thousand Suns. This is another one of her films. It was made in 2013. So this is a global oneness project, and it shows the landscape and the lifestyle of the African Rift Valley. Specifically, we see the agricultural diversity, the organic farming, the culture of the Gamo people who live there, and we see the Gamo. We see how they live with their environment, their relationship with the environment. Um, Your relationship with their environment is very much harmonious, and they focus on coexisting with their environment, honoring nature, thanking nature, um, and if going off of that, we also see this film compare the Gamo lifestyle to the Western slash modern lifestyle. On the contrary, we see the modern lifestyle taking advantage of nature, not honoring nature. I mean, we put pesticides and toxins in our soil, we cut down trees, we put concrete on almost every patch of dirt, and there's a sense of profit, business, dominance in the Western culture, and it's not balanced. In the African, specifically the Gamo lifestyle, we see them living harmoniously and in a balanced way. So yeah, this film basically focuses on comparing the lifestyle between the Western and the Gamo lifestyle. Lastly, this film, also directed by Matty Diop, is Atlantics, and this is one of her most popular films. It was filmed in 2019. It is a ghost story, a thriller, a love story, a family story. It's quite complex, has many aspects to it, like I just mentioned. Specifically, Matty Diop, she focuses on showing the complexity of the Senegalese youth. And she does this through showing the different characters and the different personalities that these characters have. Um, Again, we see that this film circles back to Matty Diop's her own ethnicity, her own upbringing. Because, like I mentioned before, she is half French, half Senegalese. So again, we do see her bringing her own perspective to her film. Another thing I want to add is the main character in this film is female, which is another way that Matty brings her own personal, her own intimate, not intimate, her own personal view, because she is female, and she brings that through also having a female main character. Um, so yeah, another thing that this film shows is the migration to Spain. The Senegalese youth, we see them migrating to Spain. Although I would say that the film doesn't just focus on this, but this is an aspect, a part of the story. We see this migration. It's an important part of the film, but it's not like Matty's main goal. One of her main goals with creating this film is to break cliches and stereotypes, because there is a lot of stereotypes present in Africa. She states, quote, "One of my mission in this film was to break all these cliches that I could not stand anymore myself." She says this in an interview with Netflix Film Club. So we see that Mati Diop, there's societal issues or cliches that bother her, and we see that she breaks them through this film. She very much, we do see through her films that she doesn't like to stay in a box. She explores every edge, every uh, she goes very in depth into being complexity and being unique. And this is really inspiring because we do see her exercising her power as a female filmmaker by bringing her ideas to the table and portraying them clearly through her films. So yeah, I like her seeing. I like seeing her breaking cliches and stereotypes. I find that very inspiring. Lastly, I researched a bit about her directing style. So in the film, specifically Atlantiques, the main character Ada, she's very complex, and actor had to have, like, the actor portrays the complexity of this character very well. And great job to Mati because she chose this actor. So I was wondering, like, how does she find the perfect actor? And she finds a perfect actor by casting a person that has lived or knows a character better than she does. Mati, she also looks for an actor that defends a purpose. Specifically, she said, I need someone who knows what he's talking about, who can defend this character, and who has a societal relationship to the character. It's very important for me. It's an ethic and a moral approach to casting. It's not enough to me to be magnetic or good looking or a great actor. You also have to defend something and know what you are talking about. Yes, this is a quote by Mati Diop, and that is her approach to casting. Thank you, everybody. This is my Works Cited page. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.